In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use overlay files with Wi-Fi Photobooth iPad app. So in a previous video, I brought up this graphic here that displays what an overlay is. Basically, you have the background in the very back, you have your Photobooth images that are taken in the middle, and you can also have a logo either in the top or bottom or in the location of one of the pictures. And then there's a brown frame on top of it is your overlay. Well, what's the point of having an overlay if you can just have a background? The main reason you'd want to use an overlay is if you want a non-square or fancy kind of edge to your pictures. So here's a sample picture I took that has an overlay applied to it. And instead of having a square border, you have this like winter snowflake design around it. The problem with overlays is they don't resize dynamically that well. So in this picture here, the overlay looks like it should. However, in this next picture over here, with the camera turned 90 degrees sideways, you see that the overlay is clipped off. It doesn't really resize that well in this app. Likewise, even if you do a single picture landscape, it didn't really resize it that well. Of course, this can happen with backgrounds too. Like this is a horizontal background, and then this is the horizontal background that's been smushed to be a portrait orientation. So let me go into Wifibooth and show you the different methods to do this. So let's go ahead and click on the settings icon, which is a gear in the upper right hand corner. My battery's low, that's fine. We're gonna go under the branding option right here. So under branding, you have two options. You can do an overlay on the entire collage, which is the whole 4x6 print, or you can do an overlay on each photo. So if we do an overlay on each photo, we can go ahead and change this, go under all photos, and then this is the snowflake one that I chose. And when you choose it, it's going to automatically show you a picture that is either landscape or portrait orientation. Okay, I have this iPad in landscape orientation, but if I turn it 90 degrees and hit done here, and then I'm going to go back and do this again. So I'm going to choose change with the iPad in the right orientation, choose the snowflake pattern, and now the picture is in the same orientation as your overlay, which is what you need to do. In the upper right hand corner, you click on maximized and stretch the logo, okay? And that way it maximizes it and it'll stretch it a little bit if it needs to fit that orientation, okay? So let's go ahead and change the background, which under layout and collages. So instead of the snowflake background, let's just do a background color and let's make it a darker blue type color. And then so we're gonna go ahead and accept that, close this out, and we're gonna go into the gallery button in the upper right hand corner, okay? And the gallery should show you what it looks like ahead of time, but it's not showing the overlay, so I guess that's a limitation of the program. So let's go back over here into the settings and just do, click on the pink button here and do a sample picture, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna print that. Okay, so I had a landscape picture chosen, I had a white border, and then I had this overlay that goes on top of the picture. Let me go back to the photo gallery here and get another glimpse at that. So this is your photo gallery. This is the template that we just created. And that's an overlay on each picture, which is nice if you have more than one picture. Like if you want to change dynamically to other pictures. Let's say we do a session here under the settings, and we go to more than one picture. So under taking photos, we do 3 pictures, let's say, okay? We'll do close here, and then we'll click on take more photos, and we're gonna do a 3-picture layout. Picture number 3 here. Okay, print. Okay, so every single picture automatically has the overlay applied to it. And then if you wanted to add a logo and some text on there, you could, like I showed in the previous videos. But what's, I think, a lot nicer looking is if you have a single overlay over the entire collage. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. So we're going to go under the settings here, and we're going to go under taking photos. We're going to set that to 1. Under layout and collages, we want a portrait orientation. The background color, I'm going to have white. So I'm going to change this to white. And under branding, we're going to erase this or remove the overlay in each photo. And instead, we're going to do an overlay on the entire collage. We're going to click on that. We're going to click on all photos, and then there's just this wedding overlay I downloaded from the website. Again, we're going to click in the upper right-hand corner where it says maximized and choose stretch the logo. This is going to make it the biggest size to fit that. If you're wondering where I got these overlays, you can go to a website called pngtree.com. They have a lot of cool overlays, and this one was called Mood Frame Picture. The other one's called Sparkling Blue Gradient. If you just search for those, you'll find them. There's another website where I got the backgrounds called Pixabay, and I just typed in snowflakes, and that's where I got this background, and there was also a banner I got as well. So let's go back to Wifibooth over here. Now that you know where we got those graphics from, we have a single collage overlay, and we have a white background. We're going to hit close here. I'm not sure if this shows up in the gallery. Yeah, so it shows up in the gallery. The gallery template, for some reason, shows 3 placeholder images, even though we're only going to take 1 picture. I'm going to show you what happens. We're going to take a picture here. The reason I choose print all the time, even though I'm not printing it, is because when you choose print, it saves it to the camera roll. And if you don't choose print, I don't think it saves it to the camera roll. Okay, so you can see that it looks pretty crazy, right? You have that, let's go into photos here and go on all photos and see what that looks like. So you have that big overlay on top of everything right there. Let's say you wanted to personalize this with some text, okay? So what you can do is you can go under Photoshop Mix, this program right here, and then we're gonna pull up that image, and the image we want is on my iPad, which is right here, okay? And we're gonna go under the Add Layer button right here and choose Text, okay? And then we're gonna tap this to edit it, and we're going to say someone's wedding. Tim and Sue, we're going to change the color so you can actually read it. So the color, we're going to do an eyedropper and choose this darker gold color to match those rings. And we're going to change the style to bold and the font to copperplate. Okay? And we're just going to drag this down right over here. And I wonder if I can copy this. Hit check, okay. So I don't see an easy way to copy it, but you could copy it or make another layer and make it black and put it underneath and blur it a little bit to give it like a drop shadow effect. That gets a little more complicated though. So I'm going to go ahead and raise this up just a little bit. Get it centered. Okay, that looks better there. And I'm going to go ahead and save it by clicking in the upper right hand corner. Click on camera roll and that says it's saving. Completed, okay. So let's go back to Wifibooth, and we're going to go under the settings here, and we're going to go under layouts and collages, and branding actually is the tab we want, and we're going to change this overlay picture. We're going to go under all photos. The very last one I did is going to be Tim and Sue. We're going to click on the upper right hand corner, maximized, and stretch the logo. That way it will fill everything up to the corners and edges of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and hit close, and click on the camera pink button, and it's going to take another picture. Okay, we're going to print that. And as you can see in this preview right here, you have the names right there, Tim and Sue at the bottom. I think if I would have added a drop shadow, it would have came out a little more clear. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in the photos. This is the one that we just did. It's Tim and Sue on the bottom there. So that's the two different ways you can use a collage. You can either do it so it's on each individual picture here, or you can do it so that it is on the overall picture like that. Okay. Hope this was educational. If you have any comments, questions, please post below. Thanks.